Hey, do you still do poetry slams? I haven't seen you perform in a while. No one has.
Poets, if you bring up a piece of paper, I'm going to deduct you, and I don't feel bad about it. And audience, be loud, or I'm going to start coming around and poking people with thumbtacks, because they don't leave marks and you can't prove anything.
But I'm not trying to pry, just kind of worried about you.
Suicidal thoughts and substance abuse.
And poor fashion sense.
Borderline speaks to the sick.
If I had one life to live, I'd go around the room, giving anyone who wanted a hug, and even a few who didn't.
Really hackish poets who are completely stuck on themselves and are still cutting for Bieber even though they're 26 years old.
Poets like that?
I say cutting for Bieber, not just referring to their hair either.
Justice and equality continue to be defiled, and you help keep it going, you cookie cutter Fox News poster child.
I hope you're doing okay. Hope we can see you out there again soon.
If the scene had been preserved, investigators would have found a chipped ceramic coffee mug and the rings it left on the table. They would have found cookie crumbs crushed underfoot and a dusty calculator under a pile of papers. I'm sure that to most, the scene would have merely looked haunting, a glimpse of a moment paused, then abandoned. Investigators would have brushed their fingertips over the tie-dyed drapery while pondering aloud, why are we even here? I started performing poems when I had no roof over my head. I made the stage my home, and I left everything there. But some houses are built on slippery foundations, and applause can quickly start sounding like smoke alarms. The venue that taught me these lessons has been defunct for years, but the harm planted there infected the city, an intentional poisoning that squashed any hope for growth. What you can't see from the photos taken of me on stage is the sound of poems performed as public suicide notes that were met with laughter. The crop of the photo leaves out how the scars on my arms were made to bloom repeated punchlines in the name of protecting other people and their free speech. When I asked for Poetry Slam to be a safe space, when I said no to harassment and bullying and more, my words were twisted into shrapnel and I was painted a villain. If the scene had been preserved, investigators would have found the weapons hidden beneath the floorboards where the mic once stood. Sawed-off metaphors, hollow, pointed accusations. But most of the guilty spoke knife blade, then sneered at my bandaged wounds. It's been years since this pain was inflicted, and I still doubt my recollection, still find myself blinded by the gaslight and asking the same questions. Was it really wrong if I was the only one repeatedly robbed of my sense of safety, of a place to house my poems, of my ability to believe my own memory? Was it actually that bad if my suicide attempt failed and I got myself sober? Or was this all just a painful learning opportunity? I just want to write poems again without thinking up escape plans from the bridges I'll have to burn in self-defense. But then I wake up in a warm bed to the sound of my love laughing in the next room, and I remind myself it's okay to let things go without further investigation.
Well, it's